3 in the morning. I am in a nest of Jews. They have cleverly shifted their shapes. One of them has taken the form of a little old woman. You can barely see her horns. She have tried to poison me already. These rats are very clever.
That was part of my interview yesterday with Rabbi Botox. And now, the Jewish Defense League. You know, these guys are pretty hardcore. They will not tolerate anti-Semitism. They will present a moral and intellectual, and if it needs to be a physical opposition to Jew hatred. And the United States, of course, and Canada, and in Europe, and in parts of Europe, the only group fighting against Islamic fanatics who are attacking the Jewish community. Meir Weinstein is the leader of the JDL in Canada, and I'm taking my life in my hands here, because this is a pretty big guy. I know he's trained in martial arts, and he's here as head of the JDL. Okay, am I an anti-Semite or not?
Absolutely not.
You issued a press release. I haven't even spoken to him. Suddenly there's a press release. JDL says Michael Coren is wonderful, or something like that.
Well, listen, I mean, we're on record asking Rabbi Botox to issue an apology to you. We're very concerned about the article that he wrote condemning you. For most of my adult life, I've been combating anti-Semitism. We were investigating various neo-Nazi groups, Holocaust denial, people like Zundel, testifying before government bodies about Nazi war criminals, infiltrating groups, so a lot of dangerous work. And today the issue is radical Islam and their followers, their adherents. They're a serious threat, and people who stand up against that and support Israel and support the Jewish people to be maligned for nothing, over nothing, we have to take a stand on that, and we do.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that, and it means a lot, because last night, you know, at the end of the interview, I was rather shocked, but within hours, there's the usual suspects saying, you're horrible, but particularly a lot of Orthodox Jewish people, but Jewish people in general, including from Israel, because they have some friends in Israel they'd heard about, and they were they're saying, for goodness sake, Michael Coren, this is the same Michael Coren you're talking about, and your press release meant a great deal to me. Yeah. Do you know much about this man? Don't libel him directly.
I'm not going to libel him, but he had an association with Michael Jackson, who had an association with the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan, and I think he's placating a left, liberal, secular community that shouldn't be placated and shouldn't be patted on the back for bringing in Obama, who is extremely soft on radical Islam.
But I mean, he's Orthodox rabbi, and he's running as a Republican somewhere. He claims to be a conservative.
Yeah. Well, he could claim all he wants, but so far he hasn't gone on side fighting against this danger. And I want to know who's going to be on the front lines with us fighting against this danger. It's a serious problem today.
Yeah. I mean, it was almost funny, but in a way not, because if I hadn't been so well known, I think, within the Jewish community, this could have certainly hurt me and hurt us. And that's what he was trying to do. He had no idea of my background, and he was standing just over here, threatening. Well, listen, you know what happened to Marlon Brando. This is going to happen to you.
Everyone has a right to, especially friends, have a right to ask questions, serious questions, what's going on in the community. And by the very fact asking a question, to be labeled as an anti-Semite is just ridiculous.
Well, let's take the movie Munich, for example.
Yeah.
Spielberg, Jewish screenwriter, I think. I thought that was an appalling attack on Israel and its right and duty to defend itself and the Jewish people. If I say I think that was a dreadful depiction of Jews in Israel by Jewish people, it seems by his logic I'm an anti-Semite.
You're absolutely right. No, it's unfortunate that, again, we have people on the left, on the far left, Jews from our community, that bend over backwards for the enemy to sow to the other side. And it's not helpful at all. And what we have to do, one of the mandates of JDL today, is to try and just strengthen our resolve and our friends' resolve and the resolve in the community to take the right stand against the clear and present danger that exists today. That's radical Islam, and I mean, I know it, you know it, and again, we receive the threats, and it's not a joke.
Well, it's not, and I do too, and I show probably once a month. I will show one of them on air, but I get them all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I've been visited by security services when the threats have come from abroad. And it's always, I mean, neo-Nazis are pretty much dried up now, but it's always Islamic fanatics. And they're attacking me, not because I became a Catholic in 1985, not because I support Tottenham Football Club, but because I stand up for Jewish people and Israel. So after all of that, for this clownish character to sit there, but worse, what he said and wrote afterwards, to imply I'm somehow connected, compared me to the protocols of the elders of Zion?
Yeah. It's just an unbelievable... He's got a sickness. And that's, unfortunately, I don't even like to say that. But the fact of the matter is that just because somebody got ordained as a rabbi doesn't mean that he's speaking on behalf of the Jewish community.
No.
I know anti-Semitism. I know the threats. Again, you know, unfortunately, he's out to lunch.
He calls himself America's rabbi. But
Yeah, right.
He has 12,000 followers on Twitter. I've got 3,000. I'm just a journalist in Canada. I would have thought America's rabbi would have more than 12,000 followers on Twitter.
He's not America's rabbi, and you know, we have a lot of work to do, a lot of serious work to do, and we got to continue to speak the truth and just make sure that people show backbone today, and that's not backbone what he was showing.
What is so important is to expose genuine anti-Semitism. To throw around the term lightly and incorrectly is very damaging, because then people say, oh, you're using it again. Use it when it means something. Otherwise, do not use it.
Well, it's on the left-wing blogs right now. They picked up, on radical left-wing blogs, they picked up on this story. And, you know, we monitor those blogs as well. And those blogs, there's such a connection with them and radical Islam. No doubt about it. They support Israel Apartheid Week and bashing Israel, and it's gotten to the point that even one of the spokespersons for the Bash Israel campaign, Norm Finkelstein, even recently issued a statement against them.
Really?
Yeah, just recently.
I interviewed him on my show a few years ago, and I ripped him apart.
I know. It's, he may have had an epiphany about 10 days ago.
Well, you could call it that. So, if the little rabbi comes to get me, big JDL bodyguards will be outside my house?
We will tell him off.
Thank you.
Thank you.